Hey, good morning, everybody. Kevin here again with another morning live video series. I started organizing them last night, and I noticed that we are up to episode number 20. So, just like that, all of a sudden we've got a bunch of videos done. So, hope everybody's doing well this morning. It's sunny outside, so get your dose of vitamin D. This week, of course, we covered our normal morning Monday market stats and tour Tuesday, tour to new home. Wednesday, we looked at 5 vital tips for first-time home buyers. Yesterday, talked with Annette Nolting from Safe Passage on domestic violence and what's going on right now with the stay-at-home order and what to look out for people that might be in danger or at risk. So today we're going to talk to Jeff Conroy. Met him in a little uh, quarantine network group, and amazing guy. He's had some amazing life experiences. Been involved with some amazing companies, and so he's going to talk to us a little bit about what he's seeing with small businesses right now, kind of what's kind of changing in the world of business for a lot of people, and kind of what you could do potentially as a small business owner to keep going and like he said, shift, not necessarily pivot, but shift our focus and what we can do right now. So let's say hi to Jeff this morning. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, good, good. So maybe kind of tell us a little bit about you and what kind of life experiences you had and what you're doing right now during this COVID-19 fun stuff.
Sure. First, I'm a little intimidated following Annette. Annette's pretty awesome. Yeah, and what she's doing some great stuff out there. So,
Yeah.
my own background is I spent 30 years in the nonprofit world. Most recently as the executive director of St. Vincent's. I've worked for nonprofits in 30 years, ranging from a 1.5 person operation and $500,000 budget all the way up to 100 employee operation and a $6 million budget. So, seen a lot. There'll be days when I'll say, "Yeah, I've seen it all," and then there'll be a day when I'll come and go, "Yeah, I didn't see that one coming."
Right.
So,
Right.
to say that I've seen it all is a gross overstatement. Um, so last year I decided to venture out on my own as a consultant and a leadership coach. I run a company called Conroy Leadership Consulting, and I get to work with businesses on the small things that make a big difference. And that's what I've been doing. I've been working with a lot of organizations on structure and organizations, policies and procedures, time management, leadership skills, those types of things. So yeah, it's been a fun but highly educational year for me.
Right, right. Yeah. And what are you seeing out there with other small businesses right now? And then also kind of what have you done since you're now also in that realm of a small business guy and trying to make it on your own, so to speak?
Sure. So what's happening in the world right now in the business world is not unprecedented. It's happened before. There's been other business changing, life changing global events. We've had 9/11, which spawned Uber and Lyft. The internet, in my opinion, was the demise of the shopping mall. So global events like this are not unprecedented. What's unprecedented is the speed for which it happened and the magnitude that it happened. So I think businesses, big and small, especially small, are trying to figure out where they fit in this new economy, and are the customers still going to be there? Do they need to adapt? I say shift because a friend of mine said, what I used to say pivot, and he says pivot is a basketball term where you plant one foot and move the other. Well, shifting is actually moving to get in front of it. So what are small businesses looking at? What have I been doing? I'm a big believer in staying at the top of mind. I want to be out there. I want people to think about, hey, if I got a business problem, I'm gonna contact Jeff. Jeff's got experience. Jeff's been through it. Jeff kind of knows what he's doing. I want to talk with Jeff. There is fear of the business community coming back to the office space. I think from the readings I've had, where majority of employees don't want to come back to the office. Their businesses are doing fine. They're efficient. They're increasing in productivity. They like the balance, the work-life balance. Um, so that's kind of what I'm seeing is there's a lot of fear on where they're going to fit and will the customers be there.
Right, right. I know, discussing with some other people recently, with this thing going on. I mean, there's a lot of companies or people that have talked about, switching companies to, more of their employees working remotely. And I think everybody was kind of scared of that, or what that would look like, or that they couldn't manage their employees. And I think now finally, with this kind of forced action for a lot of companies to, have their employees work from home and work remotely, are finding out it's not so scary to not be able to have your employee right there and manage them, or micromanage them directly, and finding out obviously a lot of times people are more productive from home. They're not stuck in traffic and getting to work mad because they're just commuted for an hour or 2 hours if you're in Seattle and big metropolitans and all that. So a lot of new stuff is coming out of this that people have talked about for years and now have been forced to do it and find out, hey, this actually works. So what reason why that came up is because I said, I think commercial real estate is really going to take a hard hit. One, obviously, brick and mortar retail stores, a lot of those are going to shut down and obviously shift to a more online store type of deal. So a lot of places are not going to, they're just going to get out of their leases or shut down, or potentially go out of business. We're going to see some of that, as well as even office types places where now all of a sudden they don't need all this office space. People are going to work from home. What's your take on that? And is that kind of what you think is going to happen as well?
Well, I think first of all, the fear of companies afraid of what will their staff do working from home and can we survive? I think it's a trust issue. If anybody who's read The Five Dysfunctions of a Team by Peter Lencioni or Patrick Lencioni knows that the number one level is you got to have trust in your team. Mm-hmm. Got to have trust. If you have trust in your team, it'll be there.
Right.
So those companies that are trying to make up ground that didn't have trust and are now trying to gain trust, they got a long road to hoe. So right. There's that. As for commercial real estate, there's the statistics are starting to come out now saying that if a workforce works from home, there's going to be money saved on both sides. The employee is going to save money in gas, is going to save money in lunch meetings, and this is going to save money on other sundries. What they're going to get is more efficiency and more productivity out of the employee by working at home. What the employer is going to get out of it is you don't have to spend as much money on occupancy, which is significantly, and with the increase in productivity, is going to make more money.
Yeah, and we don't need conference rooms anymore. We have Zoom.
you have Zoom, and what's going to happen with the trade shows, and what's going to happen with big meetings like that. So. Yeah. Are they going to be around? So what's that's going to happen with commercial real estate? Commercial real estate could be flipped into. I'm not a realtor in any way, shape, or form, but there's some really cool commercial buildings that would be made into some awesome lofts.
Right. Yeah.
Because housing's an issue in this area, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a realtor. I just know that the old Peak building in Hayden would be a really cool loft.
Right. Yeah. Well, and with people working at home more too, thinking about this as we're talking, some people might invest more into their residence because, hey, maybe now we know, 3-bedroom, 2-bath was fine, but now we want a fourth so that we have a home office, right? So there's the potential for that to change that industry as well.
Yeah. I mean, if they're saving $1,000 in gas and coffee by not driving as much and buying a coffee maker, they can use that $1,000 for something else, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's an interesting time.
Right. So what to kind of, I guess, help you out as a new business owner, what kind of things can you offer? If we have viewers out there that are watching this, what kind of things would you be able to offer a business or a person that may be interested in working on their leadership skills and so forth?
Sure. Well, so with the returning workforce, I have a friend who wrote a wonderful article on onboarding and re-onboarding. When you bring on a new employee, you have an onboarding process. Well, people have been working from home for the last 5-6 weeks. there should be, or is there, a re-onboarding process in place? You have fear of people coming back to work, and they've gotten comfortable in their new existence. 21 days create a habit, right? Mm-hmm. So they've been there for 6 weeks. So there should be a re-onboarding process. So, what is that going to look like? So what I've been doing is I've been working with leaders on what does the new workplace look like? How do we accommodate employees' fears? How do we merge maybe a hybrid between a work office and a home office? And to work with leaders on mitigating their fear. Like you said earlier, they're afraid that, the staff's not going to want to come back, or staff working from home, there's a trust issue there. So how do we work on that? So working with leadership on fear, looking on structure, restructure, looking at their what they offer the community. Maybe it needs to change a little bit. That's what I do with leaders is help them, like I said, work on the little things that make a big difference. So if a company used to sell one thing that's not going to be as profitable, maybe we take a look at it and throw it up on the wall and on a whiteboard and let's look at the system, and maybe we can fix that system and make it more profitable and better and more accommodating for everybody.
That's awesome. So anybody that's watching, if you guys have a question for Jeff, go ahead and post it up. I'll ask Jeff. In the meantime, I'll also, in the notes of this, I'll put Jeff's email address and website. So if you guys are interested in contacting Jeff or getting set up consulting with him, you can know how to get in contact with him. So Jeff, I appreciate you joining us this morning, and for everybody out there, let's keep watching, and if there's any particular content you'd like to see in the show, again, normally typical schedule, market stats for real estate on Monday. We'll usually tour a home on Tuesday, some tips on Wednesday, and so far we've done 3 nonprofits on Thursday of how people can help out during this time, and we've done 4 now small business owners how they're getting through this pandemic. So Jeff, thanks a lot. Appreciate you joining us. Have a great Friday. And
my pleasure.
Peace out. We'll see you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Guys, have a great day. Have a great weekend. Go out and get your dose of vitamin D. We'll see you soon. Thanks.